Good yontif. My name is Barbara Gould, and I've been a member of Har Hashem for about 30 years, maybe a little bit longer than that. And while I've had many different Jewish journeys over the years, the 2020 journey that my family and I experienced and are still experiencing has been the most significant. On April 7th, 2020, I was hospitalized at Boulder Community Hospital, Boulder Community Health, with severe COVID. Rabbi Green, Holly Berman, and all of you stepped up to support my terrified family. On April 10th, I was intubated and was in a medically induced coma. My husband, Alan, was sending out daily updates, which many of you forwarded to others, and those updates made it all around, apparently. You prayed for my healing. You prayed for our strength. You fed my family. My kids and their significant others came to Boulder and moved in with my husband, and you fed them every day, and sometimes more than once a day. My lungs were like concrete. By April 25th, it was clear that there was very little chance of survival. You prayed. You held us in your hearts. I was airlifted to UC Health Anschutz to be placed on a lung bypass machine called ECMO. It does the work of lungs, basically, recycles all your blood in order to give lungs a chance to rest. I didn't fit any of the criteria for ECMO, but because of the amazing advocacy of my husband and a very sympathetic admitting doctor, UC Health accepted me. I'd already been turned down by other hospitals. You held prayer circles. Church groups heard my story and prayed. Our Buddhist friends held chanting circles. By May 5th, I still had not shown significant improvement, and my family was told that in a day or two, they would have to end life support. You held a huge prayer circle, all of these prayer circles via Zoom, I should say. There are about 200 of you. Shortly after, I think it was the next day, the doctors called and said, "You know, we can't really explain it, but she's showing improvement." On Mother's Day, ECMO was turned off, and within a few days I was out of the ICU and transferred to a long-term acute care hospital where I learned to walk, to swallow, to breathe, to use my eyes again, and to eventually speak again. I had been on a ventilator for 65 days, on ECMO for 15 of those days, and I was in the hospital for 92 days. But here's the thing, I never felt alone. My family never felt alone because of our Har Hashem community. We also never felt hungry. Like, for months, we never felt hungry. People said, "Well, I guess God has big plans for you," or "I guess you still have lots of work to do," which I wasn't so keen on hearing. People also said, "Well, this was a miracle." Even some doctors and nurses said, "This was a miracle." Even my more or less agnostic husband and kids said, "This is a miracle." I don't believe in those kinds of miracles. I don't believe God picks and chooses who will live and who will die. I don't believe God answers some prayers but not others. I do believe in the amazing, holy synchronicity of the universe, a magnificent source of life and creation that is God, and the power of human beings to do good, to love, to send deep and powerful thoughts, prayers, vibes, energy, whatever you want to call it. But one must also be open to receiving those prayers, to accept that energy. We're often quite good at the giving part. But the other part of the equation is being able to receive. Have you thought about what it really means to receive? I know it was a team effort. Fantastically skilled medical care at every point. Luck, privilege, and prayer, energy, strength, and love. There are so many lessons I've learned over this last year, and my recovery isn't over, nor will it really ever be. But here are two of those lessons. Don't get so caught up in the day-to-day mishigash that you forget your relationships and how much you love each other. And synagogue community matters. Synagogue community matters so much. I heard the prayers. I felt them in the deepest way. They gave me strength. They gave my husband and kids the fortitude to navigate through all of this, and it was hard. So I want to thank you, because I believe it is part of what saved my life.
What'd you say?